Hello guys, this time I would like to talk about how to learn new things, what you can do. And yeah, this is a little bit complicated because once again there are no one way to do these things. But anyway, when I was a kid and when I started to learn flamenco guitar, the times were a little bit different compared to this time. So there was no internet or such things, so it meant that it was a little bit complicated to get new material. But the good thing was that when I got new material, I really learned it well by heart, totally, and really concentrated into that stuff and so on. So it was the good part. Because nowadays you have so much material, for example, especially in the internet, that you can just watch and through all things, and it can be a little bit more difficult to concentrate to anything. But yeah, these are the problems we are facing nowadays. But anyway, sometimes people ask me about sheet music and written stuff, and it's totally okay. And during these past 20, 30 years, maybe a little bit more, flamenco music has been written a little bit more than it was. And there are, once again, good and bad things. How I feel is that if you are looking sheet music, if you are looking the score and you try to play something from it, it's totally okay. But it can easily go like that. You just look and stare the note, the score, and you play it, but you are not, anytime you are not reaching the level where you can really remember it by heart. There are certain techniques how to do that. But that's the complicated situation, that if you are only playing with the sheet music and trying to learn from the score, and you can't play anything by heart, then it's a little bit weird situation if you want to be a flamenco guitar player, because usually flamencos are playing with no any kind of score, sheet music or any kind of papers. They just remember letras, dancing parts, compás, falsettas, everything, and then you can improvise a little bit easier. And the whole music itself is it's not totally improvised music, of course, but it's there are, every time there are this some kind of improvisation level going with when you are playing. So you have to be able to do something if something different happens or stuff like that. So it means that you should play these things by heart, especially compasses and some basic falsettas. And also, I would like to say to many of my students that you can play something from the sheet music, that's totally fine, but you have to decide, make a decision what falsettas and compass figures you will play by heart, what you will remember, and what are good for you, what you like so much. And then you leave those away, I mean sheet music, and you just play by heart. And also, one thing which can be a bit difficult for many players, I don't know if it's, but I've heard a lot that if, for example, if you're watching a video from YouTube and there's a guy playing a falsetta and or compass figure, and maybe he's even teaching this falsetta, and if there's no tabs or any kind of sheet music, you won't watch it any longer. And I would say you should try to learn them just by looking. If you are not used to do that, it means it will take time. But more you do that, faster it gets. I mean that you get used to learn things like that. And also one very, very important thing is that when you are learning things like that, it is much more complicated, because you have to listen to the rhythm, you have to listen or see what the hands are doing, you have to see the notes, everything. There are lots of material in there, and also you just have to try to copy it, and it can be really, really difficult. First of all, if you are not on an advanced level, but I would like to say it's really worth it. even if you can get only a couple of notes, but you can play them correctly in Compás, it is a lot, and you will remember those things forever almost. And this is also interesting point. And if I'm, for example, learning something from a score, sheet music or whatever, I can learn it by heart, and it depends how much I play it during the upcoming years. I can maybe remember it, but if I learn something only by ear or seeing that someone, for example, some flamenco player shows me a falsetto, and I try to copy it and like that, or I watch the video, I try to learn it from there. It's much more efficient. It takes time when I start to do that to really remember everything, but when I start to remember, they really stuck into my head, and then I can play them slowly with the Compás and then faster, depends what palo I'm playing. But yeah, the beginning of this style of learning is slower, and it will take nerve, and you know what I mean, okay, but it's really worth it. It makes you think, it makes you remember, and it makes your practicing maybe a little bit more controlled and stuff like that. So I would really recommend that you should do that if you haven't done it. Just pick up one easy falsetto, for example. A video is maybe the better way because you can see the hands also. It's a little bit even trickier when you have to learn something from the record that by only listening. It's possible too, but if you're not used to do that, it's easier to start with the video, I would say. So try to learn something from there. For example, basic solea. Sorry. Or whatever it is. But basic things that is not too complicated for you. And nowadays you can even slow it down on YouTube if you are watching with YouTube. It's really helps a lot when you are trying to learn new material from the YouTube. But yeah, just an idea that how can you learn. And yeah, if you have comments, any questions about this topic, once again, please write me. And remember to subscribe, and if you like this video, give me thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, and check my social media if you haven't done it already. But yeah, hope to see you in the next video. Keep on practicing, do it well.